This is part 2 of me going through all the comic books that Leatherface has appeared in. Let's get back to it. The next comic series to feature Leatherface was simply titled The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, coming out of Wildstorm Comics in January of 2007, consisting of 6 issues. This story also takes place in the 2003 remake continuity, but it does take place 1 year after those events. Leatherface has his one arm now, and Aaron has been placed into a mental institution. The story follows 2 groups of characters along with the Hewitt family. The series features some of the Hewitt family that were relatively harmless in the film, but in actuality are just as depraved and deadly as the rest of their crew. The story also introduced new Hewitt family members, as well as revealing that residents of Fuller, Texas actually know about what the Hewitts do, and they're actually complicit in their actions. As the characters are whittled down, we're again left with the final girl, but can she ultimately survive against the chainsaw-wielding maniac? In 2007, another one-shot comic book came out having to do with Leatherface, called Texas Chainsaw Massacre Cut. This issue takes place 30 years after the first film. In it, a group of film students try and document Leatherface's murderous family, but get way more than they bargained for and are left fighting for their lives. Later in 2007, another one-shot came from Wildstorm called Texas Chainsaw Massacre About a Boy. This issue, back in the continuity of the remake, takes place prior to the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This book tells a previously unknown backstory of Leatherface as a child, helping shape him into the murderous monster he eventually becomes. Still later in 2007, another one-shot came out from Wildstorm Comics called Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Himself. This book tells the backstory for Sheriff Hoyt, back when he was a POW during the Korean War, and was forced to resort to cannibalism to survive. But clearly, the first time he tried this would not be the last. In the last part of 2007, a comic book called New Line Cinema's Tales of Horror came out. This book was split in half, one half telling a Freddy story, the other half telling a Leatherface story. In Leatherface's story, a door-to-door chainsaw salesman happens across the Hewitt home and tries to sell them his wares, but he soon finds out that it's him that's going to have to pay. Finally, the last comics to feature Leatherface came from Wildstorm in 2008, called Texas Chainsaw Massacre Raising Cain, issues 1 through 3. This series tells the story of 2 members of the Hewitt family, twin brothers who were separated at birth. One brother was raised by the insane Hewitts, while the other is brought up in a normal, non-cannibalistic family. The series takes time to showcase the differences in the brothers' lives, but all is equalized when Leatherface enters the picture for both brothers. So that is it, you guys, for all the comics that Leatherface has appeared in. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for more horror icons coming your way soon.